Folks, nobody wants your terrible deal. I'll get into that and then the latest home prices and insights for condos across the GTA for week ending October 2nd, 2024. I want to talk about assignments. For those of you that don't know what assignments are, well, you know what resale is. A seller lists their property for sale, someone else buys it. That's a typical sale, resale, we call it, because it's not the first time that property was sold. An assignment sale is a little bit different. In many cases, the assignment sale, sometimes the property that's being purchased isn't even built yet. Many times it is, but what hasn't happened is the seller does not have ownership yet. So what they're actually selling is their agreement of purchase and sale that they have with the builder. They purchase the property, and before the original purchaser actually becomes the new owner, they want to sell their assignment. They're basically saying, I bought this property from the builder, you can buy my contract now, and you'll become the new owner down the road when we close. Now this selling of the agreement of purchase and sale, assigning your agreement basically is what we're saying, can happen with any property in any situation. It can happen with freehold detached properties. It could happen with condos. The reason I'm talking about it today on our condo show is the vast majority of assignment sales happen with condo apartments. So I get calls all the time saying, I bought this property, this condo pre-construction, I want to sell it on assignment. And we discuss all the different reasons, why they don't want to close this and that. And we come up with a price. The seller that's trying to sell on assignment almost always goes out of their way to explain to me how that price doesn't make sense, how they have a wraparound balcony and it's a corner unit and they see the lake on one side, they see downtown on the other side, the skyline, and it's the most awesome purchase. And they're basing the price I gave them versus what they paid, and their attitude is it doesn't make sense. Because when they bought it, they bought into all those features and they bought into that the price that they paid made sense. Well, the market has changed quite a bit since when they bought it, and the pricing today doesn't make sense. And for many of them, they're going to be selling at a loss, which was never, ever contemplated, even for a millisecond, that they would buy pre-construction and then sell it at a loss. And their plan for many of them was to sell it on assignment without actually closing with the builder. That was their plan. Wow, the world has changed for them. And selling on assignment is just, look, there's sales that happen, but it's not easy selling on assignment. And when I speak to them about the price they want to be at, and then I show them, the building next door to you or 2 buildings down is only 6 months old or a year old or a year and a half old, so it's relatively new. And there's way better deals there than the price that you're trying to sell this property that nobody can even see yet. They still have a hard time understanding that the resale market is offering better deals than what they purchased pre-construction. And it's a reality that some just have a real hard time understanding. I received an email just this morning. The email came in, it's from another realtor, and saying, assignment opportunity was the headline, purchase this blah, 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 awesome condo at a $200,000 loss. It's like, wow. And right away you think, oh, sounds could be a great deal for somebody. It's $200,000 lower than what the buyer purchased from the builder. And so I did a little bit of research. I have buyers interested in these kinds of properties, and I do a little bit of research. And when you compare it to what's available, they need to come down another $100,000 still on top of the $200,000 lower than purchase price. The assignment market is not easy, and the seller of the assignment has a hard time understanding how the market has changed so much. They bought into whatever the builder told them. They bought into it's going to be worth so much more later. And they're selling it now, and they're trying to convince me and everybody else that it's such a good deal. If it's such a good deal, why don't you keep it? If it's such a good deal, why doesn't the realtor who's promoting it buy it themselves? If it's such a good deal, why aren't people tripping over themselves, buyers tripping over themselves to buy it? Because it's not such a good deal. And there are better deals to have in the resale side. Now, there are assignment sales being done. They're just very difficult to do. And almost always the seller in this case of selling the assignment is taking a loss. Now, why do I bring all this up? Because in the next 1, 2, 3 years, there are thousands of condos that are going to be ready to close on. And many of those condo purchasers that bought pre-construction 2, 3, 4 years ago, many of them bought with the whole intention of selling it before closing, selling it on assignment. That world is not what it used to be. You need to live in this world. The current market world is the world you need to live in. When I tell people the realistic price, some have a hard time with it, some get it. And those that get it seem to be better off than the ones that don't. This person that I said the email came in is at a $200,000 loss. He's still $100,000 too high. That property is going to sit and sit and sit and sit. It's $100,000 more of a loss now. It might be another $200,000 further loss the longer they wait. Understand you need to be realistic with your pricing, and understand that your strategy may have to change. Selling on assignment may not be possible. Selling at a profit or to break even may not be possible. But you really should be seeking out real solutions, real numbers, and be totally realistic with the situation you're in. And I've helped many people in very bad situations. The ones that get out of it are the ones that are realistic. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. There's a link up here. There's a link below this video in the description. It's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Folks, this show is all about condo apartments, but we do have a condo townhouse for sale. Check out the video at the end of this video. Okay, so normally my show is all about weekly data, and that's what this show is going to be about. But the very first chart I want to talk to you about are the numbers for condo apartments just for the city of Toronto, but broken down on a monthly basis. So the last full month is month ending for September 2024, and highlighted in black is each September going back to September 2020. So let's take a look. 864 condo apartments were sold for the month of September. How's that compared to previous years? Well, it's very similar to what we sold last year. 849. It's a little bit lower than what we sold September 2022, which is 870, but our current sales of 864, way lower than what we sold September 2021, which was 1,787 condos. And if we go back to September 2020, it was 1,545. So sales have come down, but for the last 3 years, condo sales for September have been pretty steady. Average sold price. Well, for September, the average sold price is $708,000. And just a reminder, this is only for the city of Toronto. So condos in Mississauga, York region, no, it's just for condos sold in the city of Toronto. Well, if we look back and we go, say, to 2022, well, it kind of looks like to September 2022, although there's ups and downs, there's peaks and valleys, and there's the part of the year where prices tend to trend up, and then other parts of the year where prices tend to trend down. Overall, since September 2022, looks like average prices for condos has been pretty steadily trending down. If we just compare to last year, we are 3.4% lower versus last year price. We're 8% lower versus 2022 prices. Versus 2021, we're 4% lower. But versus 2020, we're 3.1% lower. And if I add in, it's not on the chart, 2019 prices, we're currently 11% higher than the 2019 average sold price. This is for condo apartments. Here we go. Here's our regular program. We're going to be focused on condo average sales and data for Toronto, York region, and Peel region. We're going to start off with the city of Toronto. So, for week ending October the 2nd, 177 condo apartments were sold. And if we focus kind of just from September 4th onward, which is the fall market, that's the market we're in now, well, sales, it's hard to say. You decide. Are sales trending up or they're kind of flat? Because we sold September 11th, 168, then 163, 197, 177 now. I would say they're kind of in the 170 ballpark. Seems pretty steady right now, sales for condos in that level. 21 of those were sold at $1 million or more. That number seems to be increasing. More and more condo selling in the higher price point. Average sold price did climb up from the previous week to $703,000. Earlier in the year, prices were coming down. Now maybe they're starting to creep up a little bit. Compared to last year, 703 is 8% lower versus prices a year ago. The median price is 12% lower. Now the dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. You decide. When I look at median price since the end of August, kind of flat. Average sold price, it's up, it's down. You decide which way you think it's trending. I think if we get rid of the 1-week high, it's still maybe either flat or trending up a little bit. But either way, it's not a big change one way or the other. 20% of those condos that sold at list price or more. Listings. Well, this is kind of what we're seeing across the GTA. September listings are up versus the end of August, but now on a weekly basis, listings are kind of trending down a little bit on a weekly basis. Active listings jumped up, but this week they've come down a little bit, and months of inventory sitting at 7.1. That's high, pretty much a buyer's market. That's 7.1 is a lot out there. So if we look at 7.1 months of inventory and we look at some of the neighborhoods across the city of Toronto, we've got Toronto broken down into 9 sections. Rexdale, 9.9 months of inventory. Willowdale, Bayview, so uptown, 7.2 months of inventory. which is pretty similar to all of Toronto. But downtown, average sold price is higher than we normally would see. It's $804,000, 9.2 months of inventory. So 3/4 of a year, months of inventory, 9.2 months. That's a high months of inventory, pretty much a buyer's market. Here's York Region condos. Sales, look, they're coming down a little bit. 39 condos were sold for week ending October the 2nd, but it's not a major shift. We went from 44 to 41 to 39. So it's pretty similar each week so far in the fall market, but it is, a few lower each week. 3 of those condos were sold at $1 million or more. Average sold price is $655,000. $655,000 is 8% lower year over year. The median price is 6% lower. The dotted line, again, median price kind of flat, although right now these last couple of weeks is coming down. Same with the average sold price. These last few weeks maybe starting to turn down, maybe. 21% of those 39 sold at list price or more. Listings, what I've been talking about over and over again, this is the pattern. Listings shot up, and now each week we have fewer and fewer listings. Same with active listings. They increased, but this week active listings has come down. Months of inventory sitting at 5.5 months of inventory. It's been pretty steady there for a couple of weeks now, or in the 5 range. Peel condos, 23 condos were sold. One of those was at $2 million or more. 23 is pretty similar to what we've been selling each week in the fall market. Average sold price also pretty similar that we've been seeing in the fall market. $598,000 is the average sold price. $598,000 is 13% lower year over year. The median price is 7% lower. Overall, if we go back a few months, average price and median price, they're up and down, but not by a lot. It's pretty flat overall. 13% of the condos sold at list price or more. Listings, 116 were listed. Listings shot up, and they shot up a little more, and now they're starting to come down. Months of inventory, pretty high at 8.4 months of inventory. Here's a quick summary. Look, there's lots of condos for sale. It's pretty much a buyer's market. Check out the condo townhouse we have for sale right now. You're about to see the inside of 75 Weldrick Road East, Unit 742. This is an updated 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo townhouse.